Hi guys, Brain here, and welcome to another commentary video. Today, I'm just gonna fire off the hip, because, I don't know, I'm just kind of frustrated, kind of annoyed. So I'm just gonna talk about just the annoyingness of playing DBD at different times. I know you guys are probably wanting night content, but I stream on today, and I always like to, sit on the release of a new character or the release of a PTB for at least a day before I make any solid thoughts or even give you my first impressions, because I want to lull over my thoughts and think about, what actually happened, perk strength, that sort of thing. I don't like firing from the hip and giving you impressions that, may not have a lot of weight to them, like a lot of content creators do. So, instead I'm going to talk about what's making me mad, because I just got done, at least today, just playing a day of killer, and I'm just mad. I'm just frustrated. The reason I'm frustrated is because the quality of games in Dead by Daylight is so vastly different that it really makes it really hard to paint an objective form of what kind of quality of game Dead by Daylight is. So I played Killer from 9 p.m. Eastern to 1 a.m. Eastern. And for those 4 hours, I was having an amazing time. I was having a great time. Wins, losses, good chases, either way, close games. And I was having a really, really good time. Usually on my Mondays, I do both DBD and a little bit of a Resident Evil game. And I actually skipped over playing my Resident Evil game this week because I was like, Killer's actually really fun. I'm having a really, really good fun time playing Killer. So I'm actually going to keep playing Killer and actually forego my Resident Evil portion of the stream because I'm actually having a really, really good time on Killer. Now, what happened is literally, I'm not joking. Like literally the moment it swapped over past 1 a.m., the moment the clock hit 1 a.m., my matches became the most miserable pile of garbage I have literally ever played in a DBD game in my entire life. Like it was so boring. Like I wanted to go to sleep. I wanted to pass out. I was so bored. So bored. So, when I was playing for those first 4 hours between 9 to 1, I was having, a good mix of, sweaty builds, normal builds, sweaty players, normal players. I kid you not, without exaggerating, my first warm-up match on Monday, was against a lobby that collectively had over 25,000 hours. 25,000, not 2,500, 25,000. The highest lobby player with the most hours was 9,000 hours. The dude had 9,000 hours. That was my warm-up match. And that was more fun than what happened in the last hour of my stream between 1 and 2 a.m. Because those people, despite how intensely good they were looping, they were making smart decisions, and they were making interesting counterplay choices. Despite the fact that I was getting washed and they were bodying me, it was a really, really good time because we were actually interacting and playing the game together. But for some reason, at 1 a.m., I guess every person that actually likes to play the game goes to bed, and all that are left are just the disgusting sweatlords, because between 1 and 2 a.m., I had nothing but syringes, BMPs, almost every match, hyperfocus, stakeout, proof, every single match. Really good purple medkits, green medkits with really, really good add-ons. Every match. All the perks, like I said, super meta, hyper focus, stakeout, prove. I always make that joke of killers run a lot of sweaty stuff now, and it's the joke is overcharge, eruption, call of brine, and then a non-slowdown, and they're like, well, technically I didn't run 4 slowdown, I didn't run 4 slowdown technically. That's all I ran into on the survivor side, 1 through 2 a.m. was I'm gonna bring hyper focus, stakeout, and then lithe or dead hard, and then we'll run on Kindred or something. It was I'll run Kindred. That way I have one non-meta perk. It was like that for all of my teams all night. It was the most, not all night obviously, but between 1 and 2 a.m. for that 1 hour, it was like that for a full hour. I have never had a more boring string of matches in my entire life. Strong items, strong perks, boring play styles. They were just pre-dropping every single pallet. It didn't matter if I was playing like an M1 killer. It didn't matter if I was playing Wesker. It was just pre-drop city every single time. Just pre-drop it, play it. Pre-drop it, play it. It was literally co-op mode. Co-op mode. Just what happened? What happened? What about hitting 1 a.m.? Switch that switch. That's the only thing, like I said earlier, maybe just all the casual players go to bed. That's all I can think about, but that's kind of the point of this rant today, is I'm trying to wrap my brain around what happened. I was literally having such a good time on DBD for 4 hours straight that I literally skipped another segment of my stream because I wanted to play more DBD, and then just like one full hour of absolute boring comp. Just boring. Just absolutely boring, nonsensical resident sleeper gameplay for an hour straight. Like, people that were playing, like, behavior had their families hostage. Like, I don't get it. I legitimately don't understand what happened. What was the switch? What was the switch? You can't say it was my MMR raising, because I was winning and losing all night. I won like 60-ish? 60-something% of my games? It wasn't like I was like pumping my MMR or anything. Not like that matters after you're past the 1600 cap. But like, it was not like I was pumping my MMR or anything, so I was being faced with really, really obnoxious teams. I was winning and losing, so it's not that. Like, I just don't understand. And I want to, like, levy with the community, kind of, like, get your input. Do you have periods in your, like, wherever you are, wherever you live? Do you have periods, like, hours, certain hours of the day that just, like, when it hits that moment, it just, like, landslides, and it's the most awful experience to play during those hours? Because, like, I've heard that before, but I've never, like, really experienced it as intensely as, like, quite literally the clock hit 1 and I had 1 full hour of absolute pain till I had to get off the game. I've never had it so rigid, I guess would be the word. Like, I've never had it so rigidly, like, 1 o'clock hit and now the matches were terrible. Absolutely awful. I've heard that, like, when people play in the morning, like 6 a.m., like, to, like, noon, like, it's better there. I've heard people say that, but I haven't, like, what is the bad time? What is, like, the witching hour for playing DBD? Because for me, it definitely seems past 1 a.m. and until God knows when, because that was the least pleasant experience I have ever had playing Killer, and it wasn't because anything terrible happened. It was just literally nothing, like, quite literally sucked dry of the fun. Not a single shred of fun was had between 1 and 2 a.m., and I was winning games, too. Like, it wasn't just because I was losing. Like, I was 4K'ing half my matches, but it was a miserable experience. Miserable experience. So tell me, down in the comments below, do you have a witching hour? Do you have a bad, like, time period that when the clock hits that time, it's just bad until later? Or what do you think is the cause of this? What happened? Because I would certainly like to know, because I am very peeved. So, yeah, let me know. But other than that, this will be it for today's video, friends. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be hitting you with that night content tomorrow. But other than that, I will see you when I see you. Goodbye.